teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel. I wasn't actually expecting to... It's the ghost. Maybe I should try it without the light, but then all the shadows on my face. Hang on. Reminds me of being back at my dad's place when all the lights used to go on and off randomly. So, aside from, you know, the haunting, apparently, I wasn't actually expecting to be here with you today. I had to sit down and film an intro and an outro for my budgeting video, which is a few days late because I got sick and I started losing my voice, which is also why I wasn't updating here. And I figured since I was sitting down and filming anyway, I might as well do this. I have watched, we've got the Singari seafood mukbang right now. I will cut out the long parts where she's not talking if I at all can. I have sped her up to 1.3 speed though, because God, she could take it. I also watched the, was it called the Beezing hour, the live she did? I'm not going to do a full recap of that because it was also quite dull. But some little piece of information that came through, despite the fact that she was given a lot of gifts from her family, who probably scrambled to get them because she was unexpectedly in Canada, she left a lot of the sweaters and clothes there. I'm sure they really appreciated their hard-earned money being left at the place. They're going to try and keep less junk around. She responds a lot to random chat. I may have said random trash there when I meant random chat. Freudian slip. She does admit she was driving illegally last time we saw her driving, which we had guessed because either she was a tourist and she could drive on an international driver's license, or she was a resident and she hadn't been in the country long enough to get her Kuwaiti license, but both of those things could not be true at the same time. But she says it's really easy to get an international driver's license. I was looking it up. So I was like, so you haven't actually done it, you just looked it up later. So illegal driving confirmed, in my head anyway, good to know. Same old story about therapy and why she's therapy averse and all of that, so I won't get into it. Tries to blame Salah, but not blame, defend Salah in chat against why he doesn't know why her having snacks are a bad idea. And I'm suddenly taken back to the conversation we had around it where she told us that Salah said, "Are you sure you're going to be okay with these snacks in the house?" And she was like, "Yes, I can control myself," and then she couldn't. And now it's, oh, Salah wouldn't have known. He's normal. He doesn't know he can't have snacks. If I bought him healthy snacks, he'd just eat those instead. So simultaneously defending and throwing him under the bus. A piece of news I found slightly surprising in this live. She claims to be seeing an endocrinologist in Kuwait and that she was overdue for a checkup but doesn't want to go because he's going to be mad because she didn't listen to him. Did I miss this as part of the diabetes hospital bees? Did she also go and see a guy for her hormone medication, maybe? I don't remember. I'm guessing if she feels like he's going to say, oh, you didn't listen, that either diet or consistent medication were both part of that conversation and she ignored both because she thinks he's going to be mad. I might just be forgetting part of the history there, but I was surprised at that news. Her blood sugar is still in the 10s. She says she is going to get Julia fixed. She's not going to breed her, or she was just kidding or something like that. I don't think there was really anything else. I think somewhere near the end she was saying that she wanted to do more members-only streams, and did she say she was going to strike everyone who used them as content? Maybe I'm mixing that up with another live. There wasn't much in it, but very quick recap, under 5 minutes at the moment. Congratulations. Save yourself the hours of your life. But the one we're actually going to look at today is the big fish mukbang. So I will just get into that so we can get finished. I realize I'm doing these backwards. The live did go up after this. So she filmed this and then did the live later. So if I'm messing with the timeline there, sorry.
Hello guys, hi.
Hi.
Welcome to having another dinner with me. So,
she said me weird there. I was like, with me? She already seems angry. I think at this point the attitude is more like, oh, she already knows the response it's going to get. She knows what she's going to have to admit and what she's showing. And although she likes the views and she's going to eat it anyway, she's sort of already reacting to the judgment she knows is coming because she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. So before
Yeah.
people pick apart how much rice I eat, not that I care, this is a
It does sound like you don't care.
totally small portion. Okay, so
I wouldn't call that a small portion. I'd call that a portion, probably for splitting between two. Like, she usually has one of the massive ones that look like they're for a family. This looks like it's for two people when you just go to a, I don't know, a Chinese takeout or whatever, and they give you a portion of rice. But that is definitely more than one person's portion, even before you add all the extra stuff.
all right. To drink, mug with ice, and I'm having some Unimate.
I thought with this one, she had to drink it 15 minutes before her meal, because that was the point. The fiber filled you up and then you didn't eat as much. Apparently that's not a thing anymore. Or maybe she just considers the rice that's only 2 portions instead of 6 to be, you know, dainty.
All right, right now I'm having singari. So I have some bread and cheese over here. Tahini.
Minor, and I know shocking, slightly petty, point. She's got 3 pieces of bread there. She doesn't end up eating them, but you remember the other day when I was like, I think this breakfast is for her, I think this meal is for her. She had 3 pieces of bread on that breakfast as well, and she had enough of the, what's the chicken, the mortadella stuff, just really for her. And when she was like, oh, I'm gonna call Salah over now, it didn't look like she had that set up for him. And then look at this. She's got what she considers to be 1 portion, and it's the same amount. I'm just saying.
Rice, brown rice, some eggplant, some grape leaves, and fish. This is tilapia and fish. And it's singari style, so it's flayed and grilled. Or like butterflied, I guess you would say. Lemon. Let's try these grape leaves. I love them.
If you love them, why do you need to try them? You know what they taste like. She does have a lot of sides here. And this is, I mean, the portion control conversation is old. I do realize that, but this mukbang was interesting to me in the sense of when she says, oh, it's 1 portion, and we're like, oh, she's trolling. I think she really does think this is portion control for her. I think she really does think that's 1 person's. Because this whole thing where she's like, look, it goes into my hand. I think that's how her mind twists it to justify it. No, look, I'm listening to my doctor. I really think a scale and weighing her food would be very helpful and entirely shocking to her. But she won't go to that effort.
Today is weigh-in Monday.
Jeez, 6 kilos in a week. 6 kilos is nearly a stone. It's 13 pounds something. Like, in a week. Now, you can argue that's not all real weight because she had a lot of the snacks, and we could see she was very, very bloated from the sodium. And actually, you can see today that her under eye looks a little better. But even as someone who was very bloated, because if her under eye is better today, she didn't weigh when she was at her worst, or she's not sharing it, that is a lot to go up in a small amount of time.
I weighed myself. The tahini makes the rice very creamy. And I've gained weight. And I know why.
Yeah, we know why
I
as
explained
well.
why in my video yesterday.
Yes, she did. She had a whole conversation about the B word, which I thought was bitch, but here we are. To be honest, I still kind of think is bitch. But look at this freeze frame. She's mad. She's mad that she's having to come on here and tell us this. Even though she technically doesn't have to. If she wants to keep up with this conversation so it doesn't go back to Salah, she has to keep up with this. This is the content she has. But to her, tahina is a healthy fat. The fish is actually fine, but the fish is a healthy meal and brown rice is healthy. So no matter what she's eating, and no matter the extra, and no matter the sodium, and no matter the fats that she shouldn't be eating, and the extra carbs, it's a healthy meal. And this is why even when she like really wants to do better, which is a limited time thing but does exist for her, she's just shooting herself in the foot, or the liver, or the kidney, or the whatever, as the case may be. Because as a person, she genuinely does not have any idea of what quote unquote normal people eat. Because we're all liars who hide stuff. And everyone is exactly like her, we just aren't honest about it. And I think she really believes that. I think 100% she believes everyone is secret eating. She believes that everybody does these things. And that's why you can't give her approximations and be like, oh yeah, palm your hand, because this is what she'll do with it. You have to just start weighing. And it can be quite a hard habit to get into, but it becomes second nature very quickly. But it is eye-opening.
I think that is.
No, clarify it. I'm going to go with my interpretation.
Do you ever just feel like I was watching TikToks and I follow a few Italian.
What sauce did she just dip that bread into? Does she have a laban somewhere down there? Because she put her hand down and then she brought it up and there was sauce on it. Oh, yes, she does. It was cheese. And that was a whole tub of that stromboli cheese. That's where all the cheese has gone.
And I follow a few Italian grandmas. They're like super old. And they eat pasta like every day.
How dare they? How dare they get to be super old eating pasta? Pasta must be healthy. Why are you guys having a go at me? Look, these grandmas eat it. No, I'm sure we eat exactly the same portion and have exactly the same health history.
And they're not even in the best shape. Like, they're not super thin or anything like that.
Dude, they're 90.
But they're super old and alive. But they make everything from scratch.
Another thing she never understands is, like, homemade is healthy. No, we've seen her cook. We see what she puts in her food. Her food is not healthy. Can you argue there is a chance to make healthier and better quality food at home? Yes, but if you're not actually doing that, you buying some fries at a fast food place versus frying some fries yourself, you're not actually going to make that much of a difference.
So I think the quality of the food matters.
Quality and quantity would be a conversation.
You know what I mean? The only thing I hate are the bones.
I really hope Julia is not knocking around there sniffing at those bones because she's going to choke on them.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Like when I did lose the 7 kgs.
I had a complete... This was so much for a minute. I was like thrown back to Anne Boleyn and the 89 lbs. This is her 89 lbs, except it's 7 kgs and it was a week ago. This will be the forever number.
I pretty much just ate like a bit of everything, but less of it, and I won't.
Which can be an argument if you don't have all the medical things that you have. Well, I did it for a week and I lost some weight once temporarily. Okay, did you stick to it? No. Okay, was it what your doctor said? No. So did it do you any long-term good? No. Okay, so just keep doing that then. Again, the kernels of truth.
But less of it, and I was walking a lot, you know, so I had bread every day, pasta, rice, but I added veggies, proteins, like a bit of everything. I was not binge eating.
Not pickling your inside with those cabbage leaves.
It's very eye-opening that only a couple, well, like a few, B words, can bring that weight right back up.
In a general sense it is. It's shocking how quickly weight can go up on a scale, but in another general sense, think about how big her binges were. This is quite the expression I've frozen Chantal on. Sorry. She recently went shopping again. She had a massive grocery haul before that. So when you consider the how many pounds of cheese she bought in the house that she felt the need to replenish. She bought 3 more packs of grated cheese, so she had gone through those. She bought another one of that white stromboli, whatever, and she had had 3 of those before because then there was the butter on top. So if nothing else, that's a huge amount of calories in a short amount of time. So it's really how far did those 3 binges go? All of those snack things, which is all the salt. She had a ton of those croissants she bought as well. I'm guessing those have been dented. When you consider the sheer amount of calories being taken in, yeah, 3 can do that. 1 can do that.
What is this?
I don't know, you ordered it. Eggplant. Aubergine. Someone will yell at me in the comments.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get back on track.
It's always very easy to be confident of that while eating the meal.
The exercise was helping a lot, especially with my pain. Like I haven't been out walking, doing my walks.
I'm not entirely sure of the timeline of this, but didn't she say, like, the last time we saw her when she was super swollen, she was like, I'm not doing it today, I feel terrible. And we're on the next day now, so, you know, nothing changes if nothing changes. And then tomorrow, which I suppose is now, timelines, man, she's gonna be like, oh no, I was on live at 1 a.m, so I don't feel good now, I've slept through most of the day.
As a result, my pain is really bad today. That's why I'm kind of not in a great mood, you know?
Seems like you being sat like this and eating on camera would not be helpful for that. I'm in pain. If I walk, the pain goes away. What shall I do? Sit here.
So I gotta get back out there.
It's actually a lovely time of year to be walking. You won't have very many months where it's comfortable to do. I mean, comfortable in the sense of the climate.
I gotta take all the bones out. Hold on.
God, tears into it. You know, if you used a fork, my dear, this might be easier. I'm not knocking anyone eating with their hands, but this seems like a dish that would be easier with an implement. Thought she was reaching for a napkin.
So,
Rookie mistake,
yes,
it was bread.
Gained some weight, but I will lose it again.
Seems like a great start. Did she refill that? Did we see that? Did she cut it and then refill it? I suddenly feel like I'm in like a funhouse mirror of editing.
Something is making me sneezy. So, another thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, man, we're here.
Which I believe I've expressed concern over before. But I'm debating saying this because in Islam, when you are repentant, you should only do it to Allah, not revealing your sins to others.
When have you ever lived by that? No, that's not something you do. Oh, has there ever been anything she hasn't been able to bring on camera? Ever? Pre or post her change in beliefs?
There was a comment from another Muslim sister, and it made me think.
Oh, I was thinking that squeak was Howie. Apparently it was the hamster wheel in her brain going.
I feel, like other Muslims have a right to remind you of the right path. Not in a...
You didn't seem to think that when there was that... Who was that reactor who was a Muslim that was around for a little while? I don't know if she is still around. When Chantal was first changing over and she tried to be quite fair about like saying, okay, well, what happened before, it's a new life. And then Chantal did not want to hear it. What was her name? I don't remember, but she was not welcoming of that.
judgmental way, but in a caring way. When you're going off track. So I appreciate that. Not being condescended by people who are not even Muslim or religious, and also commit immoral acts.
Yeah, the circle of who's permitted to react to her gets smaller and smaller every year. Because as we know, Chantal is completely open and embracing of criticism if you just phrase it correctly. For those of you who have only been around later in my reacting, where I've been more tired of her cycles and a little more willing to call a spade, when I first started reacting to Chantal, I was very sympathetic to her because I do understand a lot of where she comes from. And her response was to rage in my comments. So it really doesn't matter how you phrase it. Everyone is always against her. So her picking this up as, no, look guys, this was just the right tone and therefore I'm completely welcoming of it, is just her putting on a show. And of course, getting gigs in her reactors.
This fellow sister of some of my community votes retaliating against haters.
Yep, we all saw them. And we've all seen you do it before. And we've all seen you delete them before. And admit that it makes you feel stupid. And you keep doing it.
And that engaging in the drama and backbiting is not something that I should be doing.
That sounds familiar. It's almost as if everyone has told her that since she claimed to be a very modest, very good Muslim. Not perfect, because how dare you? Never mind any of us previously saying, hey, even with our very rudimentary knowledge of this faith, doesn't seem like this is okay. No, we're all haters.
And that's 100% true.
Okay, clip that. What's it? 2444. I've got a piece of my fringe here that hasn't settled, and it's driving me up at the absolute wall.
Don't say to me that, well, you have these haters or reaction channels reminding you, saying it's haram. I don't mean in that way. I mean, like from another former sister. Gently
Former
reminding.
sister? Wait, former sister? So, from another former sister. So they're not Muslim anymore. I don't mind, I'm just checking where the lines are.
In a non-mocking manner. Which I appreciate. So, you're right. So I took those posts down.
she seems to be having a lot of trouble looking at the camera. Now, I'm not saying in the way I do, where I look at the picture instead of the lens a lot of the time, because I forget. But I mean, like, she's trying to get it out, and she knows exactly how it sounds, and she doesn't want to make eye contact. It's a kid being made to apologize to someone he's just thumped in the playground.
I'm going to try to take down most of my posts from my past that are not who I want to be anymore.
Oh, did she do a clear out? I thought she had done most of them, but
showing my hair.
What about the old mukbangs? Are they still up? Her first one, for example, is sort of a perennial favourite, like when she started mukbanging. That shows her hair. I'm gonna have to go back and look through her channel.
Yes, it's still online. There's nothing I can do about that. I can only do what I can control. I don't feel like I'm being the best person I can be when I'm retaliating, engaging in drama, name calling. Of course, when someone's attacking us, especially our looks.
You know something I found really interesting about that phrase? Chantal has a way of absolving her personal responsibility by saying, well, everyone does it. Yeah, and this isn't news. But the moment she went into trying to defend past behaviour, oh, it's natural when people do things to us. She's no longer Chantal the person making a personal choice. There's no responsibility at that level. You know, we as people, it's natural for us to retaliate. I wasn't the one online posting pictures of reactors and saying, look at them. Personal choices have personal consequences.
The first, instinct out of anger is to make fun of them back.
It's normal for everyone, and I don't have to think about my choices.
But that's against Islam to do that. The only thing that will matter.
Don't hate those who lied to you, cheated, and betrayed you. It will teach you to rely on Allah and expect less from creation. They will be answerable for their deeds, and you will be accountable for your deeds. Forgive them and leave everything to Allah. He is just. Foodies never particularly struck me as being able to turn the other cheek. But I'm sure this time will be different. It's not like she's had this realization before.
In the end, is how we've treated other people in the face of adversity, how we conduct ourselves in the face of conflict.
Does she perhaps think, in her version of the world, that Allah doesn't have access to YouTube? It's okay, he's not a subscriber. He's never seen her go off. Got some image of like Twitter at Team Allah. Did you see this? Nah, I missed it. I was busy. How can you allow this on your platform? Probably not something I should joke about.
So for me, from now on, what's going to be more important is how I behave as a human being.
Awesome. Remember those words, hey? They won't come back to bite you.
And I'm not going to focus on getting a one-up on people.
Sounds good.
For me.
Fantastic. I will say in the live as well, there were quite a few people who were in the chat who were just trying to trigger drama. Because someone was reacting, I think it was Breezy, someone was sniping, and so people kept bringing it up in chat, I think hoping to start a fight. Just because they're her Beezers doesn't mean they want the best for her.
They want to misunderstand me and try to make my life miserable, who just want to hate, basically. Those people are not important, but we do spend a lot of time thinking about.
We do. Not Chantal, we spend a lot of time thinking about it. There's no personal responsibility here.
People like this in our lives. And it's wrong. We should be worrying about the people who love us and being kind no matter what. Because the people who are the meanest are the ones who are the most hurt and who need the kindness the most.
I just had to stop that because I couldn't tell if the call to prayer was coming from her or from me. I was like, wait, is that outside? What time is it? She's got the call to prayer going.
If you want to get your own, check the description.
Do not check the description. Do not give her your commission. Or
when I'm on
affiliate.
track, I don't take the slim because, But this I drink every day regardless. I love it. Again, no sugar. It's a yerba mate drink, but it's like lemon flavor. It's so good. I don't know about most people, but for me, when I'm mean to someone or I say things that could hurt somebody, even if they've hurt me, it replays in my mind at night. Like I have trouble sleeping, and that's why I end up deleting all my posts, because I do them in the heat of the moment when I'm feeling defensive.
Yeah, but you do tend to double down later, don't you? So I understand heat of the moment, and she's got poor control over her emotions in general. I understand that, but then it's not like she's ever actually sorry for what she's done. She's just making sure she can't get deleted over it. She's just making sure that Team YouTube can't see it easily. If people can't get to it to report it, it's easier.
I know I have a lot of haters who will say, well, you deserve everything you get. But I have a lot of lovers. No, I'm not a bad person.
Not as many as you used to have, though, is it? Have you ever stopped to consider why that might be? Why you don't seem to keep a lot of long-term relationships going?
In the end, I just want to be a better person. And that starts with, you know, how you treat other people.
Right then. So her and FFG will be holding hands by morning.
If I can't be nice to somebody, I'm going to ignore them. I'm just not engaged.
Great. Love to see it.
It's not important for me to stroke my ego and have pride and all that other stuff.
Even when you reply to people, you don't have that. It never ends well for you. It never ends with you looking good.
That's my lecture for today. Back to walking tomorrow.
Okay, I'll count on
I like
it.
this place because they don't give you a huge portion of rice. It's just like a small tin.
She believes it.
Like the palm of your hand.
Palm of your hand is here. Half a cup of rice is 150 grams-ish. 125, 150, I think. Like, inside the palm. Not as far out as you can stretch your fingers.
Which is the diabetic doctor said to have maybe a cup and a half of rice. That's about it. The fish
Cup and a
huge
half.
because
I cannot think he said that.
it's butterflied. It's just one tilapia. And there's not that much meat. Like, it's mostly bones. But that's good enough. I didn't even eat one whole bread. I had a few grape leaves. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, grape leaves and tahina and the cheese.
Buy a huge can. But this can is like a good brand. It's really delicious, and the ingredients are very minimal, which is always good. A good sign.
Yeah, definitely less salt in those, right?
So, I guess that's it for now. Those were the things on my mind today.
That apartment has seemed so still since she came back. I don't think he's been there at all, and I think that's why she's been going live more as well. I think it's going back to the time before where she really just doesn't have a lot of company. And I know there's been a lot of talk about, oh, is he there, is he not there? But usually we'd hear him moving around, or he'd be in the next room, or he would have been live. There has been neither hide nor hair of him. And I think we're going to get more lives as we go, because she just doesn't have anyone else to talk to.
Vivian!
Ugh.
Want some fishy fish?
Kat says no.
I'm gonna give this to Hallie. BB doesn't want any, I guess.
Do hamsters eat fish?
He's so cute. I'll film myself giving him the fish. I always bring him a little meal every day.
The hamster's the only one in that house that wants her fish. Kat doesn't want a fishy fish. Salah doesn't want a fishy fish.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye. I don't want to watch you feed fish to that hamster. Okay, and that's where we are. So lovely seeing you today, and I guess we'll see where she is tomorrow. But remember, promises were walking, not starting shit with people, not talking about people, not raging. It'll never happen again. All right, community tab will be clear. Let's see how long that lasts. All right, everybody, thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.